Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Secret of Sinchanee, and this is a new horror film from writer, director, and star Stephen Grayhm, and he portrays this young man who's a truck driver who returns to his hometown after his father commits suicide, and he's plagued by insomnia, and in the night he has these strange visions, these strange dreams, jingling of sleigh bells on his basement door, and he takes walks through the night and sees some kind of specter in the form of his younger sister, who he lost his mother and sister when he was a child, and with the death of his father, he has no family left. And there's strange paranormal presence that's filling this house. And on the flip side, you have this detective played by Tamara who's looking into this as she tries to protect her own daughter and deal with her ex, Nate Boyer. And it really becomes like the beginning of the film is very much focused on this young man, Will Stark, and his tragedy and stuff like that. And at some point, the narrative feels like it really shifts gears into focusing on Detective Donovan instead. And there's still this big connection, but in many ways, I don't know if you ever really get a chance to fully connect with some of the characters in this film in a deep and meaningful way. But along the way, Graham is a director, along with his cinematographer Logan Fulton, and with the composers Gary Rugula and Ricky Rook. They create this atmosphere, this unnerving feeling of something always there. They use deep focus. They don't need to shoot obnoxious, loud musical jump scares, because they just allow things to be in the background and allows the audience to be perturbed by what's on screen and not obnoxiously pointing it at them. And all those things lurking in the background, the shadows, the strange noises, and all these different kinds of things builds real tension. And that's what this film does really well, is build tension. This film is a good, strong, almost 2 hours long. And I feel like it didn't necessarily need to be 2 hours long. It definitely, at times, can feel a bit repetitive. And that's, I think, at some points, it's the point, because it's like, there's a couple of times, I even turned to my fiance, I'm like, did we just see the same shot before? And I think it's meant in those sequences to be showing this cyclical nature of our main character, Will Stark, sleeps, and how these things are haunting him. But, there's a couple of times where it's like it could have just jumped to the chase. And I feel like this film is really trying to focus not only on the horror elements, but also trying to make a statement about the treatment of indigenous people and what colonists did. And, taking a step further, it's like colonists were Satanists and brought these crazy, dark entities about. And then that opens the door for Rudy Reyes' character, Solomon Goodblood, to come in and, kind of feels like I'm going to magically appear and just, goodbye, bad thing. And, yeah, narratively it feels a little convenient, but how they portray it visually, there's some really breathtaking filmmaking here and great visuals. And I feel like this film, yeah, it's wanders a little bit narratively. It might take its time and drudge along a little bit from a pacing perspective, but there's always this tension, there's always shocking imagery, there's always something to unnerve you, all the way up into obnoxious after the credits or mid-credits thing setting up a sequel. And it's just like, you gotta be kidding me. But, it has those elements. It's working really well as a horror film. It's unnerving, it's atmospheric, and if you can get past the fact that, there's some elements of the narrative and the characters that just feel little, leaving you wanting more, and you could just appreciate what it's doing from, a scares perspective, I think it really does work. So, in the end, I think this is a really well-crafted and unnerving horror experience, and I was really happy with my experience watching this film. And even if I wish there was a little bit more focus and structure from a narrative, or maybe connecting to the characters a little bit. But, the characters, you feel for them on a human level because they're dealing with human loss. They're dealing with, fractured relationships. It's like those things are at least very human, so that we could at least connect with them on an empathetic level, even if they're not, per se, the most interesting characters. But, in the end, those are my thoughts on The Secret of Sinchanee. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.